Thanks for tuning in to the Next Up podcast. In this episode, I had the pleasure of speaking with the Texas Association for School Nutrition President-elect and Director of the Year, Lacy Willey. Lacy is a registered dietitian nutritionist with over 18 years of food service experience and is currently the Child Nutrition Director for Cleveland ISD, which is the fastest growing district in Texas. Lacy is passionate about helping others improve their health and wellness and about being a lunch lady. But I'm sure after listening to her story, you'll learn there's a lot more to being a lunch lady than you might have already known. Lacy Willey, Cleveland ISD, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Thank you so much for having me today. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming to Cleveland, Texas.
Yeah. From the moment I met you, well, I can't say the moment I met you because I met you years ago, but the first time we had a conversation was at the Peanut Board Summit, and I was like, I've got to get to Cleveland to interview this lady.
Yes, the Peanut Board Summit was a fantastic time in San Antonio this summer. I really enjoyed being there and collaborating with all those amazing people.
Yeah, it was, they set the bar really high. Like, I like to consider myself someone that sets the bar super high, but then I was invited to their summit and I attended. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to set my game up because they are killing the private event, public event game.
I agree. That was one of the best events I've been to in a very long time. Also, I fangirled a little bit with some of the people I was in class with.
Don and Martin.
Yes.
I remember.
From a dietetics and a dietitian standpoint in school nutrition, that's like the creme de la creme of what you aspire to be. So, yes, I was a little quiet for a little bit, and then I warmed up, and everybody got to be introduced to me as well.
Yeah, well, you're also considered the creme de la creme. So there is a segment that I like to do called Street Cred. I'm not sure if you've seen me do that yet,
okay,
but it's kind of your opportunity to tell me and the audience about yourself and give us your backstory. Like, how'd you get here?
Okay, so my backstory, as any good dietitian is, I started in clinical nutrition. I worked at a hospital, a community hospital in my hometown, and became clinical nutrition manager and in charge of the diet office and had my own units. And I was looking for something that had a better work-life balance, right? Because the hospital's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? So I had a life event that happened. I don't know if you know, but my husband was killed in when our kids were 3 and 6. And so being a widow and being at a place that you're on call and working, I really was like, this is not going to be conducive to a great life for me and my kids. So the next best place is child nutrition. I was like, this would be great. If I could find a spot in child nutrition, then I can be with my kids in the district with them, have the same holidays as them. So my goal was to have a work-life balance, being a single mom. I did not know it was going to turn into an amazing career that I have never looked back at clinical. Like, I don't even want to walk into a hospital.
Yeah.
So that's what guided my path to being in school nutrition. And it was right when the Healthy Hungry Free Kids Act started. So it was 2012 when I started in child nutrition in Dickinson, and that actually is where I graduated high school from.
Cool.
So I went back, and there was quite a few people that I grew up with. I have 2 older sisters also in education, and my oldest sister worked for the same district. So it was like coming home and a comfortable place to be when you've had such tragedy happen to you. So I thoroughly think that was my place to be and what I needed to do, and I haven't looked back.
So what was your first role in the district in school nutrition?
I was menu planner nutrition education, and I went into the classrooms and also so when it started, the Healthy Hungry Free Kids Act, and when you had to do the food-based menu planning, that's what I did, and we were one of the first ones chosen for review or early breakfast adopters. So I literally have been on the child nutrition regulation treadmill since I've started, and it's been going, 4 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour, 6 miles an hour. Now I'm sprinting every day. It feels like I'm still on this treadmill that has never slowed down. Just when you think it's going to, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So I've been on that marathon since 2012 with all the regulations that have changed and flip-flopped and Yep. And here I am now. I was supervisor, and then I did that for 8 years. I was in Dickinson for 8 years, and then didn't transfer, but I wanted to be a director somewhere.
Yeah.
And this opportunity opened up, and it's the fastest growing district in all of Texas. And I was like, that sounds like a great challenge for me.
Mm-hmm.
I like challenges. And here I am 3 years later.
Here you are. So how long were you a menu planner? So wait, did you go menu planner, supervisor, then director?
Mm-hmm. I was menu planner and supervisor.
Okay.
And my district had about 12,000 students. There was an assistant director.
Mm-hmm.
We had another supervisor, procurement, and our director. And so I had basically done everything that you could do besides being a director.
So like, what was the biggest difference between working in healthcare and then working in school food service operationally?
Operationally, you really don't have regulations when it comes to hospital food service. You are working in a commercial program. It doesn't have regulations. You may have, yes, a low sodium diet or puree diet or cardiac diet, diabetic diet, but it is nothing regulated like a child nutrition program is, National School Lunch Program.
How would you say the food compares?
Our food is so much more healthy.
Can you say that one more time, please?
School food is way more healthy than hospital food service.
What about the taste? Does it taste better?
It tastes great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just because it's school lunch doesn't mean it's cheap and bad and flavorless. This is a new era.
Yes. There's so many people out there that have the wrong impression about school meals today. I mean, I've gone to plenty of schools where like I've had a meal, I've had lunch or breakfast or whatever, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is better than the restaurant that I ate at last night.
Absolutely.
It happens all the time.
Because school nutrition has a bad image. It has a generationally bad image.
Yeah.
No one ever wants to talk good about school nutrition, much like hospital food. No one has a great relationship with that. So it's generationally. So you talk to your grandparents, you're like, oh, school food stinks. Your parents, school food stinks. And they could have ate it every single day and loved it.
Every day. Exactly.
And they will still say, oh, it's school nutrition.
Yep.
Because just the image and that the idea behind it is a generational, everyone needs to say it sucks.
Well, how do we fix that? How are we going to solve this problem?
We are going to move the image, move it, continue to move it away from policies and political and move it to an enjoyment of food. Because it is, because we do such great things with our food program, having whole grains and subgroup vegetables. As a dietitian, and when I was packing my kids' lunch when I was in the hospital, I wasn't making sure they had red, orange vegetables and beans and peas.
Of course not.
At least once a week. I'm like, when I was in school nutrition, I was like, oh my gosh, I can affect 12,000 students and how they eat and being introduced to all of these different things. And my kids never packed a lunch after that. Like, no, you are going, there's no reason for you not to eat school nutrition. At least try these different things and being exposed to a red, orange vegetable, a bean and pea, a starchy, a dark green. It was such an amazing transition being in the hospital, and you're helping people who have conditions that their lifestyle and their life has contributed to, versus in school nutrition, I have a foundational change. Like I can make it a experience. We're in the education field. I'm educating on you how to choose a healthy meal and see what it looks like. And I always encourage my employees, also my workers, the staff, like this is how you should be eating at home. This is not just a one-off and what you need to do at school. This is healthy eating.
Yeah, you're educating students and you're helping to create healthy habits as well too as they grow up, and also you're fueling them towards success.
Absolutely.
Which is kind of like maybe in some cases the inverse from in a hospital.
It is. Absolutely. Yeah, because you are creating a healthy relationship with food.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, and that's how we change the idea. I think it's going to take a very long time. I think it's going to, since I've been in school nutrition for 12 years, that's been one of my goals, is to change the image of school nutrition, or just the idea of what a lunch lady is, because this job is so difficult for every single person. If you're in the dish room or if you're the executive director of school nutrition, every position is hard, and we all work very hard. We're not just stirring beans for
Yeah.
8 hours a day, which a lot of administrators or other people think child nutrition does. So it's going to take a long time because, like I said, it's generational.
Yeah. So you said a term. I knew you were going to say it because we kind of chatted about this at the Peanut Summit sidebar. You said lunch lady.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, how do you feel about the term lunch lady? Because I hear a lot of people, they aren't really down with that. They prefer school nutrition professional. And then you gave me this whole spiel about why lunch lady is okay. So hit me with it again.
I like lunch lady because that's what people know.
Mm-hmm.
That is, for lack of a better term, what we are. I mean, what people know is a lunch lady. They know school professional heroes, or I think that's great too. I'm okay with lunch lady because I am a lunch lady. You can go into a school and talk to a second grader and they know what a lunch lady is.
But I feel like you're so much more because you guys do breakfast too, right?
Touche. Yes, we are. We are all of those things.
Yeah.
So an entitled doesn't define you.
Yeah.
So I think that if you can see when someone says a lunch lady, and just like you said, you're so much more. We do so much more. Yes, we do. But let's have a relationship starting with lunch lady and build it from there. And if I can change your idea of what a lunch lady is or your image of what a lunch lady is, then I've done my job.
So what would I be?
Food dude.
A food dude? Lunch lady has a better ring than food dude.
I like food dude. When Barbie, has been very popular.
Yeah.
You could be a lunch lady Ken. I was a lunch lady Barbie.
I think I'll pass on that one. But you know what? I don't think the term lunch lady is a bad term. I think the problem with a lot of people is you guys deserve more respect on your names. And when some people hear lunch lady, like you said, I mean, they may not think about someone like you who's doing so much more, like even at the administrative operational level, like you just do more than what people might think a quote unquote lunch lady does. Yeah. I mean, you guys are the hardest working people in the school district. Custodial, they're right behind you, but you guys put in some serious work. And on top of that, you guys are a profit generating portion of the school district. And there's only one other department that makes their own money, and that's before and after school care. But they're not making money like you guys are. Like you guys are literally running restaurant chains.
We do.
And people don't get that. So
serving 12,000 meals a day.
Yeah.
Breakfast and lunch.
You feed more mouths than any other restaurant in this area.
Yes.
Yeah. That's make you feel good.
It's great. It's such a rewarding job to be in. And being a lunch lady is rewarding because I am doing that.
Yeah.
And if I can introduce myself as a lunch lady and then change someone's mind and idea of what a lunch lady truly is.
Yeah.
It's not just serving lunch on someone's plate.
Yeah.
It is knowing the regulations, knowing the why I'm serving all of these things and what I have to do with procurement and Buy American and all of these rules and regulations so that we can have a great program.
Yeah. You guys have so many rules to follow.
So many.
It is crazy.
Legs and regs.
Legs and regs. You're right. So I have to ask, what's a favorite thing about your job?
Oh.
Besides getting to sit here with me and have a conversation.
This is so great. This is the best day. I've looked forward to this all week long. I love getting to do trainings, teaching.
Oh.
I like to train my ladies, teach my ladies, helping someone see their potential and then rising to that and doing that. That really gets me excited.
That's awesome. Do you have a specific area you like to train in?
I like the nutrition part, the menu planning. I mean, that's kind of been a good, I would say, a subject matter expert in that area just because I've did that for so long. And now training someone to do it, I take for granted all those things, that experience that I've had because I have a new menu planner in my district. I'm like, oh, I did this because this.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, that makes sense. I was like, oh, and this was the steps that I would take on my subs, whatever the process is. I think I really like doing that type of stuff.
Would you ever do training for other districts, whether in Texas or outside of Texas?
Yeah, I think I would.
Yeah, there's always people looking for good trainers, and you obviously are one of them.
I love training. Yeah. And it really went to I was the education chair for the state association. And I did that for 2 terms, 4 years, and changed the certification program for Texas. We have our own certification program so that others can be a professional, right?
Yeah.
So people can know that we're not just a lunch lady, we're so much more. And because this is a career path, it's not just I'm going to go to work, but you are changing lives of students. You can change your life. You have this avenue to be a professional career with school nutrition.
Yeah. So what would you say to a dietetic intern that is looking to obviously get there?
Yes,
become a dietitian who's never seen school food service?
No, I know. And it's so fun to be a preceptor for dietetic interns. And I've done that for years and years, even when I was at the hospital. So as soon as I came here to Cleveland, I was like, what universities are close? So I reached out to some programs, just cold called and like, hey, I'm the new director here and send me some interns.
Yeah.
And so I've created a relationship with Sam Houston State University. It's the closest one to me. And dietetic interns who always come in are like, I'm going to be a clinical dietitian. I'm going to do peds. I'm going to do whatever it is. I'm like, okay, that sounds great. But let me tell you about school nutrition. It is great. It uses every single piece of knowledge that you learn and why we're all dietitians are pretty similar, like type A, organized.
Yeah, you guys are.
Yeah.
My mom's a dietitian, so I can say that.
Yes, yes. Did you know Elon Musk's mom is a dietitian?
I had no idea. No clue.
She's a registered dietitian.
Wow.
I was like, oh, okay, I could birth children that could be. Kidding. And I'm like, just wait. That's totally fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with going into clinicals because historically that's been the main focus for registered dietitians. But there is a spot, and it has developed because of the Healthy Hunger Free Kids Act, I do believe, having all of the regulations that you need someone who's able to, as dietitians typically do, analyze complicated information and then put it down into bite-sized nuggets to be able to explain to kids or food service workers on the why of why we're doing something.
Yeah.
And so that applies to a lot of dietetic minds. And so usually by the end of the time with me in school nutrition, they're like, I think I could find a spot. I'm like, it's great time. You have good work-life balance.
Yeah.
Don't ever have to negotiate with another dietitian on which holiday you're going to cover at the hospital. You have great retirement. And it uses so many areas of expertise, from your data analysis all the way to human interaction and HR and understanding. So I always describe it to them. It's like putting together a puzzle while you're navigating a maze. So you're like putting these pieces together and making sure these regulations work. And then you look up and you're like, oh, I got to take a turn. And so then you're turning your maze while you're still putting your puzzle together, trying to make all the pieces fit, and you're trying to get to the exit and make it work. And for someone who likes to do some investigative work and have multiple things going on, where you do see a result at the end, this is the best place.
Great. So just out of curiosity, what would you say to a dietetic intern that was just getting into the hospital for their rotation? Because I know from the school food service side, it's almost like the best kept secret. Like we all know that most likely you're gonna go through this rotation and want to come back for more. But is that what you thought working in healthcare, that you're gonna get this intern and they're not gonna care about any other rotation?
No, not necessarily. All of the interns that I have experienced, and I've had a lot in my life, that either it is your spot and you're like, yes, this is it. Or you're like, I want to get a little bit of both, have some clinical and then come back to child nutrition.
Gotcha.
And that typically has been some of the ones that I've seen. Yeah. Other ones have jumped in, like from the jump. After they've graduated, taken their tests, they're like, I'm in, I'm all in. But a lot of ones have taken that path too, because it is so, I guess, ingrained to do clinical.
Yeah.
And you train so much more for clinical and then hopping over into child nutrition.
Gotcha. Have you ever thought about speaking at Fancy?
I have before.
You have?
I haven't spoken there, but I've thought about it.
You definitely should, because I was there at Fancy.
Really?
And a great conference, but they only had one breakout session on school nutrition.
I believe it. And that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I'm not a member of the academy is because I have
keep hearing that.
because I have school nutrition org
Yeah.
or school nutrition association. So I want to get my best bang for the buck. I was
Yeah.
a member for decades and
So
just went to the wayside.
this might be controversial, but it really shouldn't be.
Uh-oh.
Why would you choose SNA over Fancy?
Because the concentrated information, because it looks specifically at school nutrition.
Okay.
I would have to weed out a lot of the information I get from the academy to get what I need to know or what I want to know for my direct application to child nutrition. I'd have to even also be in one of those DPGs
Yeah.
to get specialized information.
Yeah. I feel like Fancy should make more of an effort in school nutrition because I feel like, and SNA is great, but I feel like Fancy probably has more resources than,
Absolutely.
than school nutrition, and they should probably try and do more.
They should probably try and do more.
And I think they are. So I wouldn't completely rule out speaking at one of their conferences because there was a lot of talk about having more school nutrition sessions and information at Fancy. So.
Because there are lots and lots of RDs, RDNs in school nutrition.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we need to be.
Yeah. And a lot of them just like, they don't go to Fancy for the same reason that you said. I was talking to, dietitians in Colorado where Fancy was, like literally in Denver. And they're like, I'm not going to go because there's nothing there for me. And I'm like, how is there nothing there for you? It's crazy.
The last Fancy I went to was in Chicago. I think it was an anniversary one.
Yeah.
And that was the last one. And I enjoy it. It's great. It has lots of information on the nutrition side.
Yeah.
If I were to do that, but now I'm so specified into my field that I don't have those conversations. I don't talk to people about their cardiac diet or how collagen works or things like that. So
how does collagen work?
I'm not I'm not here for that today. I'd actually have to do a little bit of research, have some evidence-based research to find out.
Sounds like fun. So let's talk about something fun. Let's talk about your menus. What are you most excited about on your school menu?
Oh, here in Cleveland, I would say that I have two things that stand out for me. One is pupusas.
Okay.
My kids really like that.
Really?
We do a cabbage slaw with the lime juice to go with it. So it's super yummy.
All right.
And then the other one is I came from a district that did not have peanuts on the menu. I came into Cleveland and they still served peanuts, and I love it. I am all about having to be able to still serve peanuts.
Yeah.
Because it's the allergen makes everyone very nervous, but there's allergies everywhere.
Yeah.
Wheat,
literally everywhere.
Literally everywhere. So I don't like that we single out peanuts to wine and still allow fish sticks and fish and soy and wheat. I mean, I have a bunch of gluten-free or celiac disease, and I mean, that is a requirement that I have to have wheat products, 100% wheat, for the regulations. So I'm not going to get rid of that ever.
Yeah.
So why not? Why not have peanuts? It's about making them aware. And if this district has continued to do that, I'm here for it.
Cool.
So yeah, we have a lunch pack that has the peanuts, peanut butter, and they have dippers, celery sticks, apples, slices, and like graham crackers in the shape of Scooby-Doo.
So you were just hanging out with the peanut board recently, right?
I was.
Can you kind of tell me about what you were doing with them?
They're like my new best friend. It's great.
Yeah.
So the peanut board came to our district, and we taste tested 2 recipes.
Okay.
A peanut butter overnight oats with strawberries and a West African peanut stew.
Okay. I remember that stew from the summit, and it was delicious.
Delicious. I will have to say that, and the peanut, so let me get back to what they did. So they came, we went to classrooms, we did a nutrition education on the importance of peanuts or why they're so nutritionally powerful.
Yeah.
How peanuts grow, which if you haven't ever looked it up, it will blow your mind.
I haven't looked it up, but whenever they were talking about it, I forgot her name. There was a peanut farmer that was at the summit.
Yes, in Lubbock.
Yeah.
So peanuts, let me just give you a brief history. And if I botch this, please, no peanut farmer come after me. So a peanut grows underground. So it grows the plant produces flowers grow pegs. And as the pegs grow, they grow down under the ground.
Yeah.
And that's where the peanuts are. And then they harvest the whole plant. And there's about 30, 40 peanuts under the ground. That's why they're a legume, not a nut.
Gotcha.
Got it.
And when I heard that for the first time, it blew my mind. I was like, I want to go to a peanut farm and see this.
I want to go too. So I love how the peanut is, and I always kind of geek out a little bit when I learn different facts like that. And I have been able to in school nutrition. Yeah. I'm so educated on that versus when I was in the hospital and I wasn't able to tell like a patient, do you know how peanuts grow?
It's going to blow your mind.
Right. So I nerd out on the backstory. So, and the National Peanut Board was able to describe all the different farmers that they have across the nation. And we have a lot here in Texas because especially up in the Panhandle area, that Lubbock area. And it was great. So that we talked about peanuts, how they grow, the nutrition value. Then we did a little relay. And so activity, and then we got to taste the recipes.
And what did the kids say?
We tasted the African stew first. Visually not super appealing. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. A lot of people eat with their eyes, obviously. Yeah. We all do, from 1-year-old up into 100-year-old. So they're like, a little standoffish. Like, just try a little bite. Stick your spoon in there, and then they're like, and they tasted more of it. Wouldn't say that they are like absolutely 100% want to put it on the menu. The overnight oats, a little bit sweeter with also the strawberries, and they liked that too.
What age group did you test with?
We did 3rd graders, 4th graders, and 5th graders.
Okay, so I see the African stew as more of like a secondary menu item for high schoolers.
Great. Okay. Yeah. So testing it with them. Some of the comments were that kind of made them think of Chipotle. It's like, okay.
That's a compliment. I mean, I love Chipotle.
Also, someone said bussin'.
Okay.
So that's a I
Never heard of that.
Yeah, bussin'. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. I must not be hip or cool anymore.
Yeah, no. They're like, I had to ask my 17-year-old daughter, like, that's a good thing, right? And they're like, yeah, that's good.
Good.
But it was funny to see in the classroom that the ones who ate all of the stew didn't want anything to do with the overnight oats.
Interesting. So who all came to the event here you had with the peanut board?
We had Marquita. She was from represents the National Peanut Board. We also had their marketing firm, Fleischman and Hillard.
Okay.
2 folks from there. And myself, my menu planner, Lyanka Holmes, and my dietetic intern from Sam Houston, Chelsea.
Is she the one that I just met earlier
today? She is,
okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. She's really nice.
She's been
she
great.
On it. Yeah.
Yes, she is on it. And I was like, hey, I'm going to do this education. You can watch me do it first. Because this is the first time we'd ever done it. Yeah. We've been working with the National Peanut Board on how the program was going to run. And I'm kind of a fly by the seat of your pants kind of gal.
Really?
I know. Believe it or not. And I've done nutrition education in the classroom so long with multiple grade levels. I'm like, I don't think that's going to work. Or this one might take a little bit longer. And so I showed her, I'm like, you can watch me do it the first time. And then if you feel comfortable, by all means, you can step in, and because you don't learn until you actually do, right? And
that's
so
the truth.
I'm like, you can do it. And I'm not going to pressure any intern to get out of their comfort zone. Yeah. I'll lightly encourage. Yeah. And she's like, yes, I think I can do it. Just step in if you can feel me struggling or I'm hesitating, just jump in. I was like, no problem. I got you. And Marquita from the National Peanut Board is also a registered dietitian, and she was the one who did a lot of talking about how the peanuts grow. But the intern, Chelsea, just jumped right in and had a great time engaging with the kids doing nutrition education. And I really hope that experience gives her something to hold on to for later, to when she's making her decision and what she wants to do to influence people, either because as dietitians, as people in nutrition, you're always influencing them. If it's eating healthy and you're in the hospital, or if it's creating those foundational habits with food in schools.
Yeah. I really wish more schools would go back to offering peanuts. We did. So my introduction to the peanut board or peanut council was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. But Lee County Schools in Florida was bringing peanuts back to the menu, and they were looking for ways to educate not just the parents, but the students and the community and all that about the benefits of peanuts and dispelling all those myths that really aren't true about peanuts. And we put together what we call a digizine, so it's a digital magazine, and it had videos and podcasts and all sorts of information about peanuts and its benefits, and it was really cool. And it took off. It helped the district tremendously, apparently, and then from then on, I got a chance to kind of build a relationship with the Peanut Board, and like their organization is amazing.
It is amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
I was introduced to it this summer, and then that relationship, being able to then be a part of their road show. They're going to do some other ones throughout the United States. So it's a lot of work when you're working with someone to do an activity like that, but it really makes you appreciate what they do, what you're doing, and helps you feel like you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
You know, like you just, hey, I'm going to show everybody what this looks like. This is getting in the classroom. And being here in Cleveland, I haven't been able to be in the classroom. It's been go, go, go on the administration, leadership, operations side.
Yeah.
So it was so nice to have them here to dive back into the nutrition enrichment in the classroom.
Mm-hmm. Did you take any pictures or videos or anything?
I did.
Okay.
I
you
did.
have to send those to me.
I will. They did as well, and our communications for the district did.
Okay. Yep. So talk to me about the makeup of your districts. We kind of didn't touch that at all.
yeah.
How many students, how many sites do you have, ADP, all that stuff? Are you guys, are meals paid for here or not?
Stop talking. I'll tell you all about it.
Okay, jeez. You see how she treats me?
So in Cleveland, Texas, Cleveland rocks. We are the fastest growing district in Texas. We have 12 campuses. We have 12,000 students, and we are 100% community eligibility provision, CEP. All of our students eat free breakfast and lunch. We have 90% low economics, and 65% of our students are English as a second language. Cleveland, Texas is an epicenter of public policies and political warfare.
Why?
Because of immigrants and migrants. Border security.
And how far is the border from here?
A long ways.
So why?
If you want to know more, you can do your own Google research.
Google
yes,
is your friend.
Absolutely. And in school districts, you don't realize how political things can be. And then from a nutrition standpoint, I'm just here to feed kids.
Yeah.
I don't care where you come from.
So what's the demographic of your district?
We have
student population.
Student population is Latino.
Okay. So do you cater to them on your menu on certain days or every day? How does that look?
We do. I mean, kids are kids, and I'm not going to be able to make an enchilada or pozole like your mom or grandma or anything. But kids are kids, and like every kid, they want chicken nuggets and spicy chicken and pizza, and then we do some other things that might entice them every now and then. Yeah, but we have a great participation. Since I've been here, I don't know if it was luckily or stupidly became director during COVID in 2020. So we have been, I was able to change the menu after that, which you have all your purchasing and supply chain issues. So it's been interesting to be in a growing district and still cater and meet their needs. Yeah. Because we've grown. When I first started, we had 8,000 students. Now we have 12,000 students. We've grown 150% in buildings, in campuses, and in employees.
All right, and you guys are going to continue to grow.
We are going to continue to grow.
Do you have a forecast for next year? What you guys are looking at?
I think we'll be at 1,350.
Wow.
And we just hit 12,000.
That's awesome.
Yes, it is. It is. It's amazing to watch and see, and the challenges that it presents. Because we are also a town. The last 3 school bonds that have went to vote have failed. So we're not keeping up with buildings for our students.
So speaking of buildings for your students, do you get involved with construction, building, the cafeterias, the kitchens. You get to do all that stuff?
Yes, sir.
That sounds like fun.
It is fun. But it was a little challenging. I'd never really done so much of that before. Luckily, I like to look at house plans and can follow floor plans.
Yeah, not me.
So like my very first week on the job as director, I had to sit in a construction meeting and go through a kitchen plan and be able to mark things out. And I will have to say, being a school nutrition specialist, like having that SNS, that's part of that exam, and having to study and prep for that exam, I think helped me prep for having to do that part of the job.
I've heard that exam is more difficult than the test you take to become a dietitian.
I don't know if I'd go that
I've heard
far,
that from multiple
Marlon.
people.
Really?
Yes. I guess it all depends on the person, but that test is no joke.
It's no joke. It has a lot of things that if you aren't normally doing those, you need to study for them. Like I was not normally looking at construction plans of a kitchen, square footage, how many ovens do you need, what's the candle foot lighting, things like that. So you have to do that as director when you are the expert, trusted advisor to make those decisions, those best decisions for your district.
So in your schools or in your kitchens and cafeterias, are they considered yours, like in terms of planning, or is it the principal that's over the cafeteria? Does construction handle the kitchen, or is it like all yours?
All
you get
me.
to make all the decisions.
It's all me.
That's awesome because
It's
so
awesome.
many schools aren't like that. It's wild.
It is.
It's wild.
That is a great benefit to have, is being able to say, Lacy, this is what we've got going on. Are you okay with this? And I can say yes or no.
Yeah, and I wasn't even aware of that. One of my good friends, Scott Rotano, we've done some stuff together in the past, videos and whatnot, and we were doing an interview, and he was talking to one of the food service directors, and she was like, they just don't listen to me. Like, I can tell them what I want and why I want it, but the architect is going to do what the architect wants to do at the end of the day. So he's a big advocate for helping food service directors find their voice, although they already have them.
Absolutely. And in this district, being in a smaller district, I am that trusted advisor. They look to me to make those decisions that are best. I'm also the one that
big boss necklaces.
I'm also one that will be like, "Are you having a meeting in here? Is it the construction meeting is in here today? I heard. Oh, okay, because I'm gonna come in here with you. I also like.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let me tell you how it's gonna be. Love me, hate me. But I want to do what's best for the students.
Yeah. What's your thought on student dining spaces? Like, do you have cafeterias? Do you have restaurants?
We have cafeterias. We have straight up old school or new school cafeterias. Murals are in the new builds. We have regular tables. I spent some time designing the serving lines so that they look appealing. I love using lighting to make a space look open and not like a regular serving line or, going into an institution.
Yeah.
Lots of colors.
And that's what people think school food service is.
Right. Yes,
like
you're right. Institutional.
It's not.
Yeah, and I love it when school nutrition is compared to prison food. That's one of my favorites.
That's so crazy.
It's so crazy.
Blows my mind.
And I'm always like, "You've been to prison? Tell me about that. I want to know more about that."
But I think it might be interesting to tour a prison. I would love to do that and try the food and see how they operate.
Yeah, I guarantee you they're not doing 5 different subgroups of vegetables.
Probably not.
No.
Like I just think of them getting like slop.
I don't know. I'm not. But
I'm assuming
not,
they don't.
I'm not judging prison food.
Yeah.
I've never been there to have an opinion about it.
Really,
so.
Lacy?
Let me say, I haven't tried it yet. There's a potential.
There's still hope.
There is still hope.
There is still hope.
Oh heavens, no. That's not in my cards.
Are there any recipes that you're looking forward to trying out one day down the road?
I am looking for a pozole. I mentioned that earlier because I do want to do that. We have a lot of taco trucks and just authentic cooking here.
Yeah.
And I would like to get some of those things tested in the school realm to be able to put those on the menu.
So you say authentic, right? Have you met Aaron Smith in Seattle?
I don't think so.
Okay, so his district is, and I'm probably wrong, is broken up into like 7 or 9 different like territories essentially, and like every region or whatever they call it, there's predominantly like a certain type of ethnic group there.
Okay.
And he has multiple menus based on these regions. So he told me one day that what he's actually done is partner with the families and the parents to learn how they cook, and he actually makes items that the kids can relate to, like, based off of what mom and dad would make at home.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and he said that it's been absolutely amazing.
That's a great idea. We have lots of different ethnicities in our district. It could be from Mexico to Venezuelan to Honduran to El Salvadorian to Cuban.
Yeah.
We have so many, and our ladies in our kitchen as well. And some of that relationship, because they're coming to the United States for the very first time, and this is their first relationship with us, the United States, with our cafeterias, and we want them to feel at home and comfortable in their food environment, also their school environment, so that they can learn and be a better student all the way around. So that would be a great idea, because we have so many that come from different worldly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're fine.
Talking with my hands now.
Because you're so excited
I
and
am.
passionate
Yes,
about being
I'm
a
like,
lunch
wow,
lady.
I love being a lunch lady. It's the best thing.
So speaking of you being more than a lunch lady, you are part of the association, TAZN.
I am.
Right? You want to kind of talk about what that is and what you do?
Okay. I am the president-elect for the Texas Association for School Nutrition.
Okay.
Yeah, I am excited that I will be installed this summer, 2024, as the president of the Texas Association for School Nutrition. And we have about 5,000 or 6,000 members, and we are affiliated with the School Nutrition Association, the national organization.
So why did you join the association, and where did you start?
I joined TAZN because of wanting to be I was up and coming in school nutrition. What better place to network and find people that are in your same boat? Because, and the great thing about child nutrition is that we don't compete with anybody else. I'm not a restaurant competing with another restaurant.
Yeah.
We can share ideas. You can copy and paste.
People always say, and it's true, that they don't compete in child nutrition because you guys aren't competing against each other. But I know a lot of you programs that are super competitive, and you're always trying to outdo your friend across the street.
Of course.
But at the same time, you're cheering them along. So you're not really competing, but
no, you're trying to elevate everyone.
Exactly.
As you're elevating your program and you're seeing what they're doing. I'm like, oh, I can do that. I can do it better.
Yep, I can innovate off of that.
I can innovate off of that.
Yeah.
And you don't have to create, I mean, if you want to and you have ideas on your own, but you can totally just take something and make it your own, and that works for your district.
Yeah.
Because nobody is like Cleveland, Texas. Nobody is like another district.
Yeah.
This is our family and our people. So I want to make it the best for them and take some ideas from others to cater to, make it specific to the students of Cleveland.
Yeah, I love seeing the different programs almost like leapfrogging over each other, but doing it in a friendly way.
It is, yes. It is friendly competition because you're like, ooh, look at me. I
had African stew on my menu today. What did you have?
Right, yes.
All right, so back to TAZN.
Okay, TAZN. TAZN is a great association, member-based association for all food service professionals. Lunch ladies and food dudes.
Food dudes. What about breakfast boys?
And breakfast boys. All of the above. We're all in it together, from a 4-hour worker to a retiree.
So what are the different roles or responsibilities that are available? So you have president-elect and you have the president, but what's below that? Or not below it, but
yeah, as far as the organization itself, we have different standing chairs, and we have an education committee, and that is in charge of the certifications that our state has. Not every state has their own certification.
Yeah, I was going to say, I only know of a couple other states that have their own certification program.
Texas does, because, Texas is different. Texas is Texas.
Yes. Yes, it is.
We want to have our own things.
Yeah.
Like if we wanted to be our own state, we probably could.
You really could. Your own country?
Or our own country, yes. So we have our own certification. So because if someone can't do the national certification, they have something here. If they're not going to go national, I mean, we have the program that they can use and take with them wherever they are in Texas. And Texas is such a large state. You can go 8 hours away and 12 hours away and 16 hours away and still be in Texas. So that's education, and we do training, professional development based on the USDA professional standards. We have a membership. So we're always trying to gain membership because we want to be a resource for all things school nutrition and for our food professionals.
Why do you think it is that sometimes these member associations, and sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
Why do you think they have a hard time getting new members?
Because they don't know the value. Because because you always want a return, right? A return on your investment. What if I'm going to, and member associations are also about, we all have the same amount of time in a day. Where do we want to put that time? Where are we going to put our, we have to split it between family, your kids' events, your faith-based things, any kind of volunteering, you're taking care of older generations, younger generations. Yeah. So we're all divided and split. It's hard to commit to one more thing. And a member association does require you to have you pay for a membership, and then what's your return on that investment? And if you're looking for career advancement, networking, training, and that's a goal that you have, then this is the best place for you.
Yeah, I mean, I could honestly say that I would not be where I am right now if it were not for my state association or my national association.
Agreed.
Like, I'm a product of SNA.
Agreed.
I'm only here because of the professional development, the opportunities to learn and grow and speak at these national and state conferences, and the relationships and people that I met along the way.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah. New York SNA, I know you know them.
Yeah.
They just did a really cool video series on membership that we'll have to share somehow. I'll drop it on the video or something. But it was a multi-part video all about reasons to be a part of the association, and they won a Telly Award for it. It was awesome.
That is great.
Yeah.
I love Tazin. I love being also service. I like service. I've learned that from my mom and dad growing up, is that to leave a place better than you found it. I mean, to always just, if I'm going to be a member, what can I do to make myself better? And then is there something else I can do for the association? I think that's probably why I'm a director too. Yeah. Like I've worked and done it. I'm like, okay, well, I've trained, I've seen some things. How can I make it the best program I can possibly make it?
Well, I think that that trait is probably one of the reasons why you won Director of the Year.
I did. That is right.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
So talk to me about that. Like, what's the qualifications to win that award?
I don't even know.
You just have to be amazing.
Yes. Amazing is number one. You have to be, so I was selected as the Texas State School Nutrition Director of the Year, and from the School Nutrition Association. And you have to be a director for, I want to say, a couple of years, because I'm a baby director. I'm still new. I'm coming up on 3 years of being a director. I feel like I've been doing it for 30 years, but I think that's just the way school nutrition works. And then I also am a school nutrition specialist. So I have taken that serious test and passed it. And I've did that 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
And so being a new director, and someone nominated me, my assistant director.
I thought you nominated yourself.
You can, if you are so bold. No, I did not. I think I might nominate myself for some other ones. No shame in my game. No, my assistant director nominated me, and I've worked with her here. And I was gobsmacked to get that award. I had no idea. Like, I thought I would maybe get it because I'm just thinking, like, in my career by 20 years, 25 years down the road, after, like, putting in the work.
I mean, you kind of know when it's time, like, when you've done enough work to reap what you sowed. Right.
And I think that I have done so much here, growing the program. And just the fact that we have grown 150% in our district, and I've had to do that. It wasn't like, oh, I'll get to that. It's in front of your face, and you have to do it, or you're not going to be successful. Yeah. And all my goal was to be successful for my students. If I'm not successful, they're not successful. So working on that and making sure that I want to do the best I can do with what I have in this growing so that they don't even have to worry about it. Like, I don't want my principals to worry about child nutrition. I don't want my superintendent to have to worry about it. I want it to be done, taken care of, so they can focus so much on the education piece.
Yeah.
Like, I got this.
Yep.
I'll take care of the nutrition part. You take care of the
You do
schooling.
you.
You do you, boo. Yes.
So part of your responsibilities as being president-elect is planning the conference, I believe.
It
is that true? How's that
is
going?
true. It is going well.
Okay.
We have our conference is the Texas conference is June 29th through July 2nd. It is celebrating 70 years, 70 style.
Okay.
So
that sounds like fun. I like a good 70s party.
I know. So platform shoes, bell bottoms, yes. And then learning, of course.
Of course, yeah. We're there to learn. Yeah.
We're there to learn, right? Disco.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun time. So we're working on, our venue is going to be in San Antonio. We're working on our industry event right now.
Okay.
And
when is that?
I think it's going to be on the Monday evening of the conference. I don't have the.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of your industry conference. Do you guys have an
We
industry
do have
conference?
an industry conference. It's called Partnership Collaboration Summit.
Okay.
Because we are partners, industry and child nutrition. So it's not just industry there to be industry. We want to work together.
Can't have one without the
One
other.
without the other. Absolutely. So that one is in end of January.
Oh, okay.
In
good.
Horseshoe Bay, Texas.
I'm thinking, when can I come back to Texas? So end of January.
End of
I'll
January, yes.
Do you know where it is?
It's in
Texas.
Horseshoe Bay.
You just said that.
Horseshoe Bay. I've never been there, but it sounds to be a really great venue.
Okay.
But the conference we're about to put out our call for presentations. So that can be anyone in the United States in child nutrition. Doesn't have to just be from Texas.
Yeah.
It's to talk about all things school nutrition. There's hard skills, soft skills, legs, regs, you name it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So give me a challenge that you had to overcome whenever you first took this position as food service director, and how'd you do it?
Oh,
now I'm like interviewing
It's like an interview question.
Yeah.
I would say the challenge in and of itself is going from a supervisor of a district to director. And being open and transparent about your goals and what you want for your department, and then being able to tell your employees that.
What about that is difficult for you? Because I know why it's difficult for me.
I think because I have such a vision. I have such an idea. Like, I have all these great ideas. Like, I want all of my ladies to be educated, trained, certified. I want sanitation to be top notch. I want everyone to know what the meal pattern is, so that when they have to make a substitute, they're educated to know. Like, I want a stellar program.
Yeah.
And so I want to communicate that to the current employees, the current staff. And I've never been a director. I don't know what that looks like. I know what it looks like in my head. I know what it looks like to me. And to be able to turn that into an actual program and to bring people along with me, that I think was a challenge for me, because I'd never done that before. And so it's just, here you go, Lacy, we're doing this.
Did you face any opposition from not so much your staff, but people that are maybe lateral to you or above you?
No.
Great.
Yeah. When I first started, I had like a one-on-one with the superintendent at the time, and he's like, so I've heard some things. I'm like, okay, all great things, I'm sure. He goes, I've heard that you are pushing your team. You're not dragging and you're not pulling them. You are giving them some good, consistent pushing. I'm like, oh, that's great, because I am. That's what I'm doing. We're moving from, we were everything on paper to technology to training.
Wait, hold on a second. Like, you were doing paper
Production records.
Okay, but not POS.
No.
Okay, I was going to say.
No.
I know districts that just got off of
paper inventory.
Okay, yeah.
Like, on my desk that I inherited was a notebook of inventory that said 1 box of chicken nuggets.
Oh, man.
Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is this Tyson chicken nuggets? Is it chicken chunks? Is it whole grain? Is it non-whole grain? What is the product code item?
Yeah.
Is it, so moving from that, I've implemented monitoring all of our coolers and freezers.
Okay.
We've had purchased prior to me the whole program for our back of the house and front of the house.
Cool.
But not all of it was implemented. So it's like, why do we have this if we're not using it? So, and that's what I'm pushing, that technology. I like data.
Okay.
I like data mining.
That's how you grow a program. You got to
right.
know your numbers.
What does
working,
it look like?
What's not.
Yes. What does it look like? What can we see from these numbers besides being out and watching the ladies and holding them accountable for having higher expectations?
Yeah.
So that's been fun, and it changes and it's new every year to do that, because I started out with 40 employees and I have over 100 in 2 years.
That's
3 years
crazy.
will be November.
40 to 100 that quick. Man, you guys are growing.
We are growing. A classroom a week.
Yeah.
About.
That's awesome. Well, Lacy, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, having this conversation, and sharing what you're doing for child nutrition, because you are absolutely the creme de la creme out there. You're a rock star. And I just love seeing what you're doing, and congrats on all the success, which trickles down to your students and your families in the community. Like you said, it's not about you; it's about everybody around you in the community. So,
absolutely. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed our conversation, and I think I behaved.
You did.
And I'm not going to go to prison anytime soon.
Not. But I do want to go try some prison food one of these days.
I do. I'll go with you. Actually, we probably could go because Sam Houston, right? Huntsville has a big prison.
Let's go to jail. To eat. We're going to jail to eat.
Okay. That
to eat.
Sounds way better. Yes. So we can do that, and I'll take you on a tour.
All right. Let's go.
Sounds good.
All right.